It's not your fault that the guest decided to be slow and kill the battery. Also chose a deductible that you are comfortable with, so you have to just deal with the consequences. And that way you would be like really shitty at the experience in which you had. What's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy Certified Batmanist and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different. Today I'm just gonna be giving you guys a little bit of game on comments that I've been receiving a lot over the time and over the past few months, in which I've been showcasing TURO content. So a lot of people have been curious, extremely curious about the insurance plans, right? I decided, you know what, instead of like going to everybody's comment and kind of answering that, I might as well just give you guys a YouTube video explaining that in depth. As a host on TURO, you are limited to 5 different insurance plans, and I'll be going through each and every single one of them in this video. First and foremost, every single insurance plan that we're gonna be going through in this video has a coverage of $750,000 of third-party liability protection. For curiosity, third-party liability coverage pretty much is just explaining that protection plan that covers anybody else that'll be driving your vehicle. So protection for a non-policy holder. You get $750,000 of third-party liability coverage for all 5 different protection plans, as well as 24/7 roadside assistance. So any one of these protection plans come with those 2 guaranteed things. So these 5 different protection plans are a reflection of your earnings. So you don't pay anything out of pocket, but you get a percentage of your earnings, and the rest of that percentage goes towards your protection plan. First on the list is the 60% protection plan. 60% meaning you get 60% of your earnings, and 40% goes towards no deductible. So on this protection plan, you have absolutely no deductible. It covers damages up to 100% without a single deductible, as well as exterior wear and tear of 3 inches or less. $50 cash towards a replacement vehicle while your vehicle is in the shop for repairs. They give you $50 a day till the repairs are done on your vehicle. Since they know, the car's in the shop, you're probably missing out on bookings. TURO will compensate you with what they call hosting income, which is pretty much you're getting paid as your vehicle's in the shop due to the fact you are missing out on earnings. Either you get $50 cash value of a replacement vehicle during that time frame, or you can choose TURO to compensate you with what you call hosting income. To me, it's cool, but you're getting 60% of your earnings, and that's just that. Second is the 75% plan. The 75% plan is similar to the 60% plan, but with some significant differences. TURO fully pays up to 100% of the damages and costs as long as they're 3 inches or more, right? So on the previous one, if anything, literally anything 3 inches or less or whatever, as long as there's some kind of damage, you will get compensated and you will get your vehicle fixed. But on the 75%, that's where it changes. It actually has to be 3 inches or more. They also fully pay in regards to your repair costs up to 100%, excluding a $250 deductible. But you're getting 75% of your earnings, right? So you're getting a little bit more. As opposed to the 60% plan, they would offer $50 cash value on replacement cars, right? Now with the 75%, you're only getting $30, and there's no option to get a hosting income. So in the 60%, it's either you get the hosting income or $50 towards a replacement value, now towards a replacement vehicle. My bad. Thirdly is the 80% plan, which is a little bit tricky, so pay attention to this one. Whereas the deductible is now $750. So you're getting a little bit more of your earnings, but to me, a much higher deductible compared to the 75% of $250. No replacement vehicle, right? During the time in which your vehicle is being fixed, God forbid, no exterior wear and tear, as well as no hosting income. So everything kind of stays the same, right, as the 75%, except 2 major things. You get no replacement vehicle, and the deductible is much higher. The deductible is now $750. Just for anybody that's curious with the exterior wear and tear. Exterior wear and tear is pretty much anything 3 inches or less. So I don't want you guys to feel like If you get a wear and tear of 3 inches or more, it won't be covered under these protection plans. It will be covered, but that'll be covered in regards to your deductible. So it'll now be a damage claim as opposed to a wear and tear. So the wear and tear only implies when your damage is 3 inches or less. But anything 3 inches or more, it is now a damage claim, and that's where your deductibles comes in factor. Now, the 85% is something I would never do. But you know what killed the cat? Curiosity. So we're gonna talk about it. TURO likes to call this the earn big by taking on a larger deductible. So since I mentioned about how all protection plans offer 24/7 roadside assistance, I wanted to state an example just for better clarity. Right now we're in a Tesla, and let's say we rent it out to our guest and the guest killed the battery. What happens next? They have the option to call TURO and get the 24/7 roadside assistance. But then let's say there's extra damages on the battery for it being dead. Then in that standpoint, that's where your deductible comes into play, because although the guest will be covering damages, but then you still have that deductible. And we all know like a Tesla battery or whatever is probably gonna be a little bit costly. Then that's when the deductible can either break you or kind of make you. So if you have a protection plan where you're receiving a lot of earnings and a situation like this comes about that you had no control over, it's not your fault that the guest decided to be slow and kill the battery. But then you've also chose a deductible that you are comfortable with, so you have to just deal with the consequences. So in a situation like this, if you're on the 85% plan and you have a $1,600 deductible and the Tesla battery cost is like $2,500, then that's, or like just any damages that came with the battery cost about $2,500, then in that way you would be like really shitty at the experience in which you had. Bills like that are what could cost you to actually say, you know what, I'm done. I don't even want to do this anymore. So in order to prevent this, you have to make sure that you choose like a protection plan that you're really comfortable with. Like really think deep about it. Don't be like super like money hungry. The money will come. That's why there's so many other options, and I keep preaching in all my other videos about extras and so many other ways around the 75% plan or whatever plan that's smart that you could still earn extra from in a way. The last minute boost pricing is so much more to where it can make sense, because at the end of the day, you just work on the platform TURO. You know, they're still gonna be making money, so you wanna make sure that you put yourself in the most comfortable position ever to where it suits you at all given times. My advice is to you is always go for the lower deductible, especially if you're just getting started. So with this, everything pretty much stays the same, except you have a way much higher deductible. The deductible on the 85% is $1,600. I think it's actually a little bit higher. I think it's $1,625. So it makes absolutely no sense, because what's the chances of you really getting your repair costs after deductibles? The percentage of you actually getting your car kind of totaled or in a serious wreck where you'll be paid out even more than your deductible on the 85% plan is very slim. And then my whole point of view is, during this time frame, right, did you really earn enough to come out of pocket? As opposed to the 80%, it's like it's double. The 80% has a deductible of $750, and this is double that. You have a deductible of $1,600, and you only get a 5% difference in earnings. So if anything, I would stay at the 80% if I know my main goal is to earn so much. Last but not least is the 90% plan. This is the ultimator right here. This is like the highest of the highest when it comes to deductible. The 90% plan covers everything else, like I said, except you have a $2,500 deductible. In this case, TURO still pays everything. You still have your regular insurance, $750,000, you know, liability coverage, but you just have a super high deductible. But you get 90% of your earnings, so you still don't even get 100%. You can never get 100% of your earnings on TURO, unless your car is somewhat old and it's not in a good shape, in which you don't really care much about it. then okay. Anything with a high deductible, you're really not getting no money for any repair costs. Like a lot of your repair costs won't even be considered considerable. The only time any of these high deductibles will work in your favor is if you have a responsible guest who is willing to come out of pocket and pay you personally for the damages that they cost. In a lot of cases, that could be your case where it works well for you, where the guest is like, okay, I know I messed up. Here's whatever cash value this is. When it comes to the guest side of things and their insurance, they have about 2 to 3 ways in which they can resolve a claim. Out of pocket, one-on-one with you and the guest, or through TURO, which is the liability insurance, the general liability insurance that they chose. But if they decide to do it through TURO, that's when your deductible comes in play. In conclusion, my best bet is I'm on the 75% plan, and I wouldn't advise or recommend anybody go past the 80% plan. You don't want to pay anything high in deductible. You really don't want to pay anything over $750 in deductible because it kind of limits your earnings in a way. So in my opinion, I think that the 75% plan is conducive on both ends. You know, you're being safe and you're also taking a decent risk. The 60% plan is cool, but I look at life like this, and I look at the business and entrepreneurship one way. You know, you have to take the risk. There's no entrepreneurship without risk, but it's also very, very important to take calculated risk. And when I look at all the things that the 75% has to offer, it makes best sense for me to stay in that lane. But to each is your own. I'm not here to tell you how to really go about it. I wouldn't mind doing the 80% if I had a vehicle that doesn't cost a lot to repair and it has maybe a lot of miles. So if it's like an '08, '10 car, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like the repair costs on whatever those vehicles are may not be so high. My longevity with those vehicles would definitely not be as high as a 2020 car and up. Either way, it's up to you and however you want to do it. Now, when it comes to the guest insurance plans, I could definitely bring you guys a video about that. And if you have any questions as a guest on how insurance works, feel free to drop a comment down below. I might just bring you guys that video. So stay tuned. If you made it this far to the video, I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And I cannot express my immense gratitude enough. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Skip!